guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today is a story time video. Today I wanted to share some awkward or embarrassing moments that have happened in my life. So these are kind of like mini stories. So I know my last story time was a little bit scary, so I wanted to kind of like make it so that everybody can enjoy story times that I do, so you can learn a little bit more about my life, because I know not everybody likes scary story time. So this is something that's like awkward moments, embarrassing moments of my life. So I have 3 different little stories that I wanted to share with you guys. So the first one we're going to start with is when I first started my period. So as embarrassing as that is going to be, I'm sure all of us women can relate that your first period is probably your most awkward thing in the whole world. Mine was super awkward. So mine all started when we were camping one weekend over at a place that like it's along the river, and it was our whole family. My grandmother, my mom, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins were all there camping. My grandmother is very, very outgoing, and she was very adventurous. She never drove. She never had her license or anything. So we had to use the bathroom. All of the kids had to go use the bathroom. So my grandmother offers to take all of us kids to the bathroom. So meanwhile, the area that we're set up in to camp at, there's like these there's these little gully type thing, and there's a little road that goes down, and then you get to the porta potties. So you have to get on this little road, and on either side is like these gullies. So you could, if you move too far, your vehicle could go down into one of those little areas. So it was a little bit scary for even an experienced driver, I would think. So anyway, my grandmother offers to take us all there. So we're like, sure, you know, let's go to the bathroom. So we're just going right over there because it was almost right across from our camp, but you had to just drive to it. So we all load into the van, and we're all sitting there getting ready to go. And my grandmother takes off, and I don't know what in the world she's doing, but she started driving really crazy and like scaring the bejesus out of me. So I'm screaming my head off, and all of us kids are screaming because we're all freaking out because she's just driving. I think it's just honestly inexperienced because she wasn't sure how to get through that area. So she was trying to do it and manage it, but yeah, she was freaking out as well. So I think between her freaking out and all of us freaking out, we were all just like screaming. So anyway, we finally make it to the porta potty. She drives around the other way, and we come back to the campground. So we get to the campground, and I get out of the van, and I tell my mom, I'm like, I don't want to go with grandma no more to use the bathroom. I will walk, or can you take me? Either way. And then she laughs. Everybody thinks it's a funny thing because we're all okay. Nobody got hurt. It was just a little bit of a scary experience. So anyway, I'm standing there, and I'm wearing white shorts and a t-shirt. And next thing you know, they're all making breakfast and making hot chocolate and everything. And my mom turns around and she says, Tiffany, she says, what's on your shorts? And I was like, what do you mean what's on my shorts? And for some reason, I think I instinctively knew that it was something that was, you know, that was happening. I think I instinctively knew that what was going on. So I told her, I was like, it's chocolate. I sat in chocolate. Honestly, I thought maybe I had number 2 in my pants is what I thought, because I was so scared. So at first I kind of thought, oh my gosh, did I do a number 2 in my pants? Because I was so scared. So anyway, so we're sitting there, and she's like, no, she's like, I don't think that's chocolate, Tiffany. And she's like, I don't think you sat in chocolate. And I'm like, what? And so then I'm freaking out. So we go into the tent, and then we check and everything, and come to find out I had started my cycle. My period had started, so I become a woman, or whatever you want to call it. That happened. So I like to tell people that my grandmother scared me into my period. She scared me into being a woman. So that is my funny story for starting my cycle. It was just embarrassing. Needless to say, I did not stay camping for the rest of the time because I was embarrassed, for one. Number 2, I was uncomfortable. So my mom took me home, and I ended up laying on the couch for the rest of the weekend and doing a little bit of nothing. So it was a really embarrassing time for a young girl. I think I was like 12 or 13 when it happened. So you're very impressionable anyway. So I was just very embarrassed about what happened. So anyway, the next one is my wedding day fiasco. So my husband and I, we met when I was in high school. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard that story or not, but we met when we were in high school. So I met him when I was 15. Of course, we didn't get married immediately or anything like that, but we met when I was 15. It took a while for us to actually get together. We were just friends for a long time. At the age of 19, I started dating my husband. A little bit later, I found out I was pregnant with our first son, and then a little bit later, he arrived. So we did not get married until after the birth of my son, even regardless of my whole family telling us that, you know, hey, you should get married and everything like that. And then his family saying the same thing. And I was like, no, you don't marry somebody just because you're having a baby with them. You marry them because you love them. And no offense, I knew I loved him, but I wanted to be sure, because I'm one of those people that once you get married, I want to try to work it out so that you stay married for as long as you possibly can. So not that there's anything wrong with divorce. So no, I'm not saying that in any way. But anyway, so my husband and I, we decided to wait until we can afford to get married. So we're starting to save some money. Our son is about 2 years old and we decided to finally get married. We have the money to do it. We do plan a very, very small wedding. So our wedding is super, super small. So we decided to get ready at our own house. We lived at a townhouse and I was getting ready for the wedding, and I was rushing around getting myself ready, getting my cousins who were in my wedding, helping them get ready, and then also getting my son ready for the wedding. So it was a little bit chaotic. So anyway, we get to the church and everything's hunky-dory, and I'm walking down the aisle. My brother walks me down the aisle to marry my husband, and we get up there and I realize I forgot to brush my teeth. So I'm standing there the whole time. The preacher is telling us, you know, our vows and everything. And I literally was sitting there freaking out, panicking, thinking, oh my gosh, what if he doesn't kiss me because I forgot to brush my teeth? Or what if he makes an awful face because I forgot to brush my teeth? So I was so humiliated. I can't say that word. I was so embarrassed the entire time standing there thinking, oh my gosh, he's not going to kiss me or he's going to make a terrible face. So in my head the whole time, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not really hearing what the preacher's saying whatsoever. Even though I understood what he was saying, I was just so focused on the fact that I forgot to brush my teeth. And then finally, you know, he gets to the part where you may kiss the bride. Thankfully, my husband did not make a face or anything like that, and he did not reject to kiss me. So that was really just embarrassing for me. And eventually I ended up telling everybody, look, you know, this is what happened. So I was really embarrassed. But anyway, that's just a small funny story I wanted to share with you guys. And the last one is a story about my son's first day of kindergarten, or first orientation of kindergarten. So we took our son to kindergarten orientation and they're walking around the classroom. We're all doing like the family pictures and things like that. I had on a pair of wedges, like these chunky wedges, and they were really cute and everything. So I'm standing there admiring the room because I was so excited for my son to start kindergarten and everything like that. He was super smart and he was excited for it as well. So I'm standing there watching everybody and watching everything going on. And they had all these cute little displays set up. They had this cute little kitchen set up. And the next thing I know, I lost my balance. So for some reason, I lost my balance. I fell backwards into the playset. Not did I just hit the playset, I fell on top of the playset. So when I fell on top of the playset, the entire playset was like broke apart. I broke the entire kid playset. So it's all the parents standing around getting their kids ready for kindergarten, and here I am losing my balance and falling on top of the kids' playset, breaking it all to pieces before school even starts. So I was so embarrassed. I stood up and nobody really made a big deal out of it, thankfully, but I felt so guilty. I went immediately and bought them a new playset, took it to school, and I was like, look, here's to replace the one that I had broken. I do apologize. I did not mean to do that. That was a complete accident. But anyway, it was just so embarrassing for myself. I felt like I was like this big standing there. I was like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to hide and be like, this never really happened. Pretend this didn't happen. I wanted the Men in Black little laser thing so I could like laser everybody and be like, look, it never happened. You never saw anything. That's how I felt that day. It was so embarrassing. So anyway, those are just 3 cute little funny stories I wanted to share with you guys, or awkward stories I wanted to share with you guys. If you have a funny story you'd like to share, I'd love to hear it. I love funny stories because that's what makes life great, because you can look back and be like, look, you know, I goofed, but it's okay. Everybody's okay in the end, right? So anyway, I'd love to hear your funny stories, and then also your thoughts, your opinions on these story times, whether or not you're enjoying them or not. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you guys later.